What's up, guys? I'm BTC. Overwatch Anniversary Remix Volume 3, that's a long name, starts today. And there's a bunch of new skins. Well, they're not completely new skins. They're just palette swaps of other ones. But some of them still look pretty cool. And I gotta say, I'm actually surprised at how many of these palette swap skins we've gotten for, the couple of different mini anniversary events that we've had. It's actually a lot more than I was expecting we were gonna get. When I first saw the first anniversary remix, I was like, okay, when's the next one gonna be? Like sometime next year or something. But no, they've actually put out quite a few. Now, there are a few Overwatch 2 things that I want to talk about. I'll do that after I show up the skins. But one thing that I do want to point out right now is that it looks like, it says right here, don't wait too long to snag the skins, blah, 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 blah. Loot boxes will no longer be available for sale after the end of the Anniversary Remix Volume 3 event. You'll still be able to get them through normal play, every time you level up and that sort of thing, and from the arcade, but you won't be able to buy them anymore, and that's because Overwatch 2 is going to be moving over to a Battle Pass system, and they're going to have different currencies and stuff. And I think the Battle Pass is probably going to be like 15 or 20 bucks, and that's going to be, every 2.5 months or so. It seems to be kind of what it is. Anyways, let me show you some of these new character skins. Oh, that's neat. I didn't know it did that. Is that new? I think that's new. Oh, it didn't do it every time. Oh, it only did it the first time. Well, anyways. So, we have Arctic Ops, which I think is a pretty cool skin. So the original is the desert one, which is kind of like brown, and it's just lots of brown. It's okay, it's not really that great. And is it the brown one? I don't know. Anyways, this one looks cool. I like this one. So that definitely looks pretty cool. I don't like the snowflake on it, but otherwise, that's a pretty cool skin for Baptiste. Then you have Diva, and this one is, I don't know. It seems okay. I don't know. I could kind of take it or leave it on that one. And then you have Genji Man, which is just, the red version of that. So kind of going along all those themes. Those look cool. Looks cool. So that's a pretty neat looking skin. This one, Mechatron, obviously it's a play on Megatron. So the purple and the black, and you even have some of the things that kind of, like, obviously they can't use the actual Decepticon logos or nothing like that, but it's like they were trying to get as close as they can without any, any possible, legal issues and that sort of thing. This one is, I think, really cool. Proteus 76. The black and the gold looks really cool with the, the energy in the back, and then, he's got the cybernetic legs and stuff. So I think this one looks really cool. Oh, you know what? I didn't show off that. Let me show. Oh. So I think this looks really cool. That looks nice. And then that's just, whatever. But I think that's a pretty cool skin. And then you have Tagged for Tracer, which, I don't really like. I like the original better than that one. This one's kind of meh. And then Royal Knight, which isn't actually part of this event, but just in case you haven't seen it, this was part of the Overwatch League. You have to spend 200 tokens and blah, 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 blah. That's not a bad looking skin, though. I never made a video specifically for this one skin, but it's a pretty good looking skin. Pretty solid. Definitely pretty good. So, real quick, what's been going on? Well, I haven't been playing Overwatch because after I finished the beta, I tried to play Overwatch 1 again, and I just couldn't because it just didn't seem as good, and I wasn't having as much fun in that sort of thing, and, there was lots of extra stuff in Overwatch 2, and just, the new maps and this and that, and the different dynamics with the, only, the one tank, or the one bruiser, really. The bruiser, and I like that a lot better than what we have in normal Overwatch. So I just haven't been playing Overwatch, and I mean, honestly, I don't even know how much I'm gonna play until Overwatch 2 comes out. And that is another thing, in case you haven't heard. Most of you probably have, but just in case you haven't, there is not going to be another beta before the game comes out. At least that's what they're telling us. Now, there was a lot of very angry people, so it's entirely possible they might say, okay, we'll throw out one more week of it. But as of now, there's no more betas. And you're going to have to wait until, the Overwatch 2 actually drops, which is less than 60 days, I think. Also, a couple of quick balance changes for Moira. It did it again. I wonder if there's like a time limit on it. Anyways, so she had the orb that rather than doing damage, hang on, you know what? Let me jump into the training range real quick, just so it's easier to explain this. So you have Moira, and she had the damage orb, right? Well, what they did in the beta, in case you didn't see it, was they changed it so that it would apply a weaken effect, and rather than doing damage, like, constantly over time, it would just reduce the amount of damage that the enemy can do. But apparently, they didn't like it for this, that, or the other reason, and they are going to revert it. But they have said that they're still looking at making some other changes to Moira, and blah, blah, blah. Now, Moira, I don't like the fact that she has the damage orb. I think that's a really bad idea. She's the only healer, the only support character with a purely damage ability, right? If you look at every other ability that the other characters have in the support role, none of them have a purely damage ability. And the fact that it shares a cooldown with the healing orb, that's what leads to DPS Moira type situations. So I think having it on separate cooldowns is good, but ultimately, they're probably going to just have to come up with some other interesting thing. Also, they are reverting a lot of the changes for Mercy because they just managed to somehow mess up the Guardian Angel just in every way possible on the beta. So they're reverting that as well, and they're going to try to fix it again. Now, one other character, and I think I might make a full video on this, is Symmetra, and they tried changing the character a bunch of different ways, and it just didn't work in any of the ways that they have. And, I can tell you right away, one of the major problems with Symmetra is the fact that her ultimate is awful for a DPS. Now, it would be great for a support character, but for a DPS, it's just garbage. And now she's the only character in the game, the only DPS in the game that has an ultimate that isn't damage. Like, because you have Mei, who has something that, it's at least crowd control and it allows you to do damage in this and sort, and it does a little bit of damage itself. And they changed how... What's her face? I am drawing a blank. Sombrero. So they changed Sombrero's ultimate so that she now does a lot of damage. It's like 40% or something like that, in addition to some other effects and blah, 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 blah. So now she has a pure, well, not a pure, but a mostly damage ult as well. So again, Symmetra's the only one that doesn't have that, and it's just a problem. There's another issue with the teleporter and this and that, and some possible fixes that I could suggest, but I think, like I said, I'm probably going to make a whole nother video. Now, you've probably noticed that I haven't made a lot of, and if you're watching this far in the video, thank you. Appreciate it. Drop a like down below. Would appreciate it. Anyways, so if you're watching this far, you probably care about my content a little bit more than the people who just clicked off after the first minute. So what have I been doing? A couple of things. I have a second channel where I do TV shows and movie reviews and that sort of thing. It's called Clipcoin. You can find that. There'll be a link down below. But I also opened up an Etsy shop, and I've been doing a lot of woodworking and making like paracord bracelets and things like that, and selling that stuff on Etsy. So, again, there'll be a link for that down below as well if you want to check it out. But go ahead and check that stuff out. Now, as far as more Overwatch content, well, when Overwatch 2 comes out, obviously I'll have a bunch more to make. But until then, I do have some other things like the Symmetra video that I would like to make, for example. There's maybe one or two other videos. Plus, I still have a couple of hero concepts that I haven't released yet, and they're basically done. So I'll probably try to sneak those out before Overwatch 2 comes out. But anyways, I think that is about everything. Again, links down below for that stuff that I mentioned. Thanks for watching.
A big thanks to all the Paragons and other channel members for all your support. If you'd like to become one and grab some cool rewards, click the join button down below. And remember, always blame the controller because it's never your fault.